Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we are going to be doing another Walking Dead Q&A. And before we get into that, I just wanted to share some really great news with you guys. Yesterday was my birthday. I turned 24 years old, and it's just crazy how fast time goes by, man. You know, I started watching The Walking Dead when I was 12, and 12 years has just flown by. It's incredible to think about, like, it's like, wow, it's just crazy. It's very strange for me to realize that, you know. But yeah, yesterday was my birthday, and I woke up on my birthday, checked my emails, and around 10 a.m. or so on my birthday, April 8th, I got an email from YouTube saying that I have been officially accepted into the YouTube Partnership Program. So your boy is officially a YouTube partner now, and that's just all because of you guys. I mean, I submitted my application on April 7th, the day before my birthday, and I woke up and I got accepted like in less than 9 hours. And it's just awesome that I got accepted that fast. You know, usually it can take up to a month or 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks, up to a month, you know, and I got accepted in like 12 hours, man. And I woke up on my birthday with that email that I got accepted. And yeah, I'm officially a YouTube partner now. And obviously that's just all because of you guys. So from the bottom of my heart, sincerely, I thank you guys so much for showing all the love and all the support. The channel's actually been doing really well for the last, 4 months or so I've been doing YouTube. Um, it just means absolutely everything to me, guys. I mean, I love this universe. I love this fan base. I love all of you guys, and I'm glad that my channel has meant something to you guys, and you've been able to resonate with my videos and me as a person and get to know me throughout the last, four or so, 4 to 5 months I think I've been doing YouTube, you know. So thank you guys very much from the bottom of my heart, sincerely. I love you guys. You're the best, man. And let's just keep it going. We're going to keep this thing going as long as I can. I mean, I've always wanted to do this, and to see this, become a reality for me, and now, being a YouTube partner, it's just such a great step in the right direction, and thank you guys so much. So anyway, let's get into some of these Q&A questions now, guys. Thank you so much for all the love. The first question we have is, which Walking Dead spinoff is your favorite? So I would have to say probably The Ones Who Live, to be honest. Daryl Dixon is a really, really close second for me, but as of right now, I feel like The Ones Who Live was just so great, and the level of hype and anticipation that I felt leading up to that premiere episode, and not just the premiere episode, but every single episode until the finale. I mean, you know, I just felt so excited, bro. Like all through The Ones Who Live. Like I haven't felt that level of excitement in so long. And the hype leading up to the premiere and the finale were just unmatched. I mean, I haven't felt that since the Walking Dead original series, and I didn't even feel that during the 11th season, I think, honestly. Even though I knew the end was coming, I didn't feel that level of hype or that level of excitement that I did for The Ones Who Live. So I would have to say The Ones Who Live. Next, we have what could have been the biggest plot twist in the show? And that's just such a hard question to answer because obviously now in retrospect, like we can kind of go back and think hypothetically what would have happened if this character did this, or if this character lived, or if this character went here instead of going there, right? I mean, it's just so hard to answer this question, but one thing I always think about is like, what would have happened if Shane ended up leaving whenever he was wanting to leave? Remember in season two when he was going to take the car and just go? What would have happened if he left? And then, like, who knows what would have happened, right? What if he ended up with the Saviors and Negan, or, I don't know. It would have been awesome to see, though, right? Like, imagine if Shane came back into the show in season 7 or 8 with the Saviors, ended up switching sides and helping us, and then, you know, who knows where they could go from there, right? I mean, that's where it's kind of interesting and fun to think about. So I'd probably say I always think about, personally anyway, what would have happened if Shane actually just ended up leaving and not trying to kill Rick in season 2. I really, really think it would have been a much more deep story, I think. I think it would have been a little bit better than what happened because I did miss John Bernthal on the screen, man. John Bernthal was an incredible actor, and Shane had potential, in my opinion. I think Shane had potential if he would have turned the new leaf that he was trying to turn. I think he could have been a great character for the Walking Dead universe, man, honestly. Imagine seeing Shane, bro, in like season 9. I mean, it would have been awesome. Um, but I mean, it didn't happen, but that's just what I think about. Let me know down below, guys. What is the biggest plot twist for you? Like, what could have been the biggest plot twist for you? You know, the biggest hypothetical. I'm really interested to see what you guys have to think about that. The next question we have is, out of all the characters, who do you think had the biggest character development? So, like the deepest, most dramatic change, right? I would probably say Carol, honestly. I don't really like Carol that much. Like, she's not this incredible character to me. I don't ever have her in A tier or S tier, but in terms of character development, she has had a very, very intense change. I mean, she started off being this very weak, kind of just frail and fragile person, that's getting beat by her husband and stuff like that. I mean, imagine now, right? If Ed was beating Carol now, right? The Carol from today. I mean, she would absolutely destroy that guy. You know what I mean? She turned into this like bad A person, and it was awesome to see. I like Carol. I don't hate her or anything. I just don't think she's like on the same level as like a Rick or a Negan or a Michonne or even a Maggie for me personally. But in terms of her character development, it has been very intense, and I would have to say probably her. I think she's had the craziest, most intense character development and change throughout her life on The Walking Dead. So, the next question we have is, in your opinion, which of Rick's kids do you find the most annoying? So, RJ, Judith, or Carl? Um, haven't really seen enough of RJ to really find him annoying. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, that last sequence alone, I mean, he was the most annoying. Nah, I don't really think so, man. Like, we just didn't have enough. We didn't see him enough, We didn't get enough from RJ to really say that. In my opinion, I still think Carl. I just always found Carl annoying. And I know a lot of people really liked Carl, and that's fine. I mean, we all have different opinions, but me personally, I found Carl very just cringe and annoying. And I think that it was just more that he was Rick's son. I never really cared about Carl, the character. It was always just like he's just Rick's son. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys can feel what I'm trying to say, but like I just never really cared about Carl, like who Carl was or what he was doing or what his development was as a character. It was just that's Rick's kid. You know what I mean? And maybe Rick just being the big star that he is, like kind of just I don't know, took the spotlight completely away from Carl. But I don't know. I just never really resonated with that character. I never felt attached to Carl at all. When Carl died, I didn't cry. I felt bad for Rick. I felt bad for Michonne because I love those characters. I love Michonne and I love Rick. But Carl, personally, I think it was totally fine for him to die. And I would have to say I found Carl the most annoying. I actually really like Judith. I think Judith is awesome. And I really liked her in season 9. When I saw that there was the time jump and I saw her for the first time, I was like, oh my god, she's going to be so freaking annoying. But actually, she ended up being, I think, a pretty cool character and a pretty easy to watch character. And who's the actress who plays Judith? Is it Kaylee Fleming, I think? I don't know. But she does a great job. For a child actor, she did a fantastic job. She never came across like cringy. And I'm currently in the middle of rewatching The Walking Dead with my girlfriend, and we're in season 11. And I have to say, dude, Judith did a great job in season 11, or whoever the actress is, Kaylee Fleming or whatever. She did a wonderful job in season 11. We're at the part where somebody broke the handprint that she made with Carl, and it was a very emotional scene, dude. It almost like kind of brought me to tears in a way, like because it was sad. Like, they broke the handprints of Judith and Carl, and that scene where Rosita is talking to Judith. I mean, it's such an emotional scene, and on the rewatch, it kind of hit me and got me in my feelings, man. And yeah, I think Judith is actually a really cool character. So probably Carl, definitely Carl, the most annoying in my opinion out of all of Rick's kids. Next question. We have, what would have been Carl's future if he had lived longer? Whew, man, I mean, that's another one of those that's so interesting to think about, right? And just think about what Carl could have been for The Walking Dead. And I think that's part of the reason why I always found Carl so annoying and I never really liked him that much. Is I think just because he never really sprouted. You know what I mean? He never really became a cool character for me personally. Imagine if Carl stayed alive on The Walking Dead through the 5 or 6 year time jump after the bridge, right? Can you imagine? I think Carl would have been way cooler if Chandler Riggs would have been portraying Carl as a, you know, as a 18 to 19 to 20-year-old person, right? Instead of what was he like supposed to be 15 or something? I don't know. I just never really I don't know, man. It never he never grabbed me as a character. I never loved Carl. I never felt attachment to Carl. So I think if Carl would have been an adult, I think it would have been a lot cooler for me personally. I think I would have liked it if Carl would have been able to live and become, an adult on the show, and Chandler Riggs could have portrayed an adult version of Carl. I think that would have been really, really sweet. And I honestly think Carl had potential to become one of my favorite characters if he, actually became an adult and stuff. And especially thinking about that time jump, right, guys? Like, it's so interesting to think about, like, how cool Carl could have become, you know, if he didn't die. I think adult Carl would have been sweet, man. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I'd never really liked him, so I don't really care either way. But yeah, it would have been cool to see for sure. The next question we have is, excuse me, do you think that the series would have been better if they kept Frank Darabont as the showrunner? He directed some great movies like The Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, and The Mist. If Frank stayed, how do you think it would be different? So, kind of a two-part question there. So the first part of that question is, do you think the series would have been better if they kept Frank Darabont as a showrunner? I mean, that's just so hard to say, right? Because a lot of people hate on Scott Gimple. Like, a lot of people hate on Scott Gimple. But I personally disagree with that hate because I think Scott Gimple had a lot to do with the rise of The Walking Dead becoming the popular powerhouse that it became, right? I mean, I think he's pretty much one of the main reasons why that happened. I really believe that throughout his show running time, or time as showrunner on The Walking Dead, what was it, seasons 4 through 8? I mean, seasons 4, 5, and 6 were, in my opinion, the golden age of The Walking Dead, and that was with Gimple as showrunner. So I think that Gimple gets too much hate, to be honest. A lot of people hate on Scott Gimple, and I just really disagree. I think during his time as showrunner, The Walking Dead rose to this powerhouse of a show, and I genuinely like Scott Gimple, but I also enjoy Frank Darabont's work. I've watched some of his movies that he's directed, and obviously with him being the showrunner for the first season, and I think into the second season a little bit, right? I think Frank Darabont's writing was very, very good. I enjoyed the storylines, but I don't know, man. I can't say that I think it would be better, to be honest, because I genuinely loved The Walking Dead all the way through. And yes, there were some seasons that I really didn't like that much, like compared to the highest of the highs, right? Like season 7 and 8, in my opinion, were, I don't know, it was kind of just a low point in my opinion for The Walking Dead, but I don't know, man. I can't really say that because who knows what would have happened if Frank Darabont was a showrunner, right? That's another one of those like retrospective, hypothetical questions. And I mean, that's why I love doing these videos with you guys, right? You guys come up with these great questions like this and have me kind of bamboozled. But I would say no, I don't think it would be better. In terms of how it would be different, right? Now, that's a whole different question, and that's, I mean, a whole different aspect of that, right? Like, Frank Darabont had a specific way that he ran The Walking Dead, right? And so did Scott Gimple. But, I mean, it definitely would have had a way different feel. I think it would have been more, like, horror themed, you know what I mean? Like, more scary, I think, if Frank Darabont was the showrunner. I also think it probably would have been a little bit less, like, comic book accurate as well. I think he would have tried to take away some of the comic book elements, and maybe people would have liked that more, or maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. It's all just a hypothetical, but I think it would have just been a lot more realistic and more like scary. You know what I mean? I don't know if you would agree with me, but I believe if Frank Darabont was a showrunner still all the way through, I think that it just would have been a lot more like intense and scary and less like comic booky, I guess. But me personally, I don't mind the comic booky stuff that happened in The Walking Dead. I think that it's just kind of, I mean, it's based off the comics, so it's kind of just going off the comics, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I think it would have been very, very different though. Thank you very much for that question, by the way. Roki49. I mean, that was an incredible question. Anyway, guys, the last question of the video. It's a pretty long video. Wow, I didn't know we were going this long. Q&A. Oh, this is an old question, but it says, do you think that Rick and Michonne will escape and the CRM will follow them? Well, we already know that answer now that we've seen the ending of The Ones Who Live. So sorry that I did not get to your question sooner, but yeah, we kind of already know the answer to that. So anyway, guys, I do these Q&A videos pretty much once a week, so if you have any questions that you want me to answer in the next Q&A video, just drop a comment down below. The Q&A videos now are going to be really, really fun and really in-depth, and I'm going to be answering every single one of them, especially now that there's no Walking Dead shows on to cover right now. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions for next week's Q&A, just drop it down below in the comments. I'll answer every single one. Thank you guys so much. Yesterday's birthday was incredible. YouTube partner, all because of you guys. If you enjoy the content and you want to support me, please stop what you're doing right now and just drop a like on the video. It helps so much more than you think. Same with dropping a comment. It just means the world to me. It helps the channel be seen by other people. And thank you guys so much. I appreciate the love. Thank you. Stay safe out there in the crazy world, guys. I will see you in the next video. I have a video coming out tomorrow about the ones who live, so make sure you stay tuned for that. It's going to just be about the trajectory of the Walking Dead franchise now that we've seen the ending of the ones who live, and it's going to be very fun to talk about with you guys. So I will see you there. Stay tuned and stay safe. I love you guys. Peace out.